Me and Shirahama, I've actually met Shirahama Kamome, so put some respect on my name.
Oh my god, bro.
Cut that, no.
Man,
Hold on. Let me start over. Okay. Hi. So, creatures. Small, soft, slithery creatures. Cute little small animals. If you ask any of my friends, they will be able to tell you that I love small creatures. More specifically, the fantasy type small creatures. Even more specifically, slithery or rodent type. If you have been anywhere around the internet the last year, you would know about Witch Hat Atelier and my absolute favorite creature of all time, the BRUSHBUDDY. I know we all went crazy when we saw that little thing with its little teeth. Okay, how he slithers, but it's still like a rodent type of creature. He is just a dream. So, of course, me being me, I want one. I really want one.
I've only had Arlo for a day and a half, but if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Very violent eulogy, I like it.
Unlucky for me, with the audacity of cosplay, I can make myself one. But I do need to be honest with y'all, I have already made brush bags. Because, yes, obviously I'm making a Witch Hat Atelier cosplay at some point in the future. You know me. I'm sticking to mine. What are you? New here? Whimsical? Magical? Medieval? That's my shit. I'm rotten. And if I see something whimsical, I gotta have it. For those who don't know, I do go around conventions here in my country selling 𝐑𝐄𝐒, which are like animal ears in a headband. So I know my way around fur, more or less. This would be my 4th BRUSHBUDDY that I make. The first 3 were more like me trying to understand how I should construct the BRUSHBUDDY. Those 3 were kind of the prototype. They were made in completely different ways. One of them was one technique that I thought about, and the other 2 were similar but different sizes, just so I could check what the proportions of the BRUSHBUDDY really are, because in the anime they keep changing, because of course they do. Why wouldn't they? It's animation. But in real life, sadly, you have to commit. So I did those 3 prototypes that I ended up selling. I thought I would be able to keep one of them because, I'm not gonna lie, it was my favorite, but it was kind of ugly. He was very lanky, like very long, because I wanted it to go around my neck. But he got adopted somehow, so good for him. But today, I am gonna make the ultimate brush bag, fully posable. So I have a little buddy to go with my future cosplay. Before I start rambling about how good Witch Hat Atelier is, and if you haven't watched it, why you should, let's go speak about the materials. Let me put my glasses. I've got the materials here, mainly fur, which I have less than I would like to, so the BRUSHBUDDY might be smaller than I wish it was. This is what I can work with. The direction of the hair is not ideal, because you want it to go along the lengthy part of the brush bag. For the structure, if you have seen any professional or anyone that likes to make plushies of animals or even anime plushies, there's this thing that is a plastic skeleton with knobs that you can pose, and it has some kind of resistance, so it holds the pose. I don't have that, and that's pricey, so we're just gonna use wire. I'm going to measure actually how long I can make this brush bag and how thick it is gonna be. I measure the thinnest part of the fur, and then I make the longest possible rectangle following those measurements. It was looking too thin, so I had to come up with a plan. I think this is going to be too thin to be just a tube. That's absolutely too fucking thin to be anything, so I have to make it half. What I can do, though, is with this extra, I can do the head. Usually what I did with the others was mark the half point, so 6.5, and then I would mark the same height, no, actually half the height, 3 and something, and I would do like a dome shape, so the ends wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be like a Minecraft worm. This is too little, so I'm gonna imitate that here. So the main idea is to basically divide the rectangle by half to have double the thickness for the worm, and then win back a little bit of that length, making the other end of the brush bag in this scrap. I wanted to make sure to use as much of this material as possible, because the longer I can stretch this brush bag, the better. Let's cut this. And with the magic of YouTube, this is already cut, because the reality is that cutting fur is very, very tedious. This is a great time to remind myself that I do this because I love crafting and cosplay. I love. This is my mantra. I almost forgot I had to do the leg positioning. I'm going to measure where I want the face to go, which would be around here. So the legs would actually go pretty close. Please tell me I'm not the only one that gets stubborn for some reason with things that are very honestly not the best option, but because it was the first thing you thought about, your mind just sets to that. I could have sewn that, like the sides, with my machine, but no. I thought I would need to sew by hand, but you actually don't. So this is extra work that I put on myself. Don't do this. If you have a sewing machine, do yourself a favor and use it, please. But I do think it still was a good call to do this part, the end and the head of the brush bag, by hand. There's a lot of volume going on with the hair, and there's a lot of seams very close together, so this is just easier for me. Yeah, it's a little shorter than I would have hoped for, but if anything, I can always make a new one in a later date. Now that I have essentially just a worm with leg holes, what the fuck is this? I'm gonna do the base armature, I guess. I'm gonna do a double layer of wire and twist them around so I get stronger wire. But if you do have thicker wire, you can totally skip that. But this is the wire that I have. As you can see, it's very thin, so I'm gonna have to work with that because I'm not buying new. From the inside, yes, I'm gonna do it like this. So it's happened before that I made the armature wire and then I've made the skin sack. That sounds horrible. And then it didn't fit somehow, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of dish. 40 is here, and I'm doing 46 because the twisting will probably take off a little bit of the length here. Again, you always want to twist your ends because if not, that's an eye-poking hazard. And so now what I have to do, and you will see me fight for my life, is twist these around each other, which I like to do like first holding it like this, and then just using my hands. Like, you don't need one wire around the other, you want both to twist around each other equally. This is the pattern you want. Like, this is the resistance that you want to protect the wire from twisting too much, and because if you surround the wire with something too soft, even if you bend the wire, the cotton is not gonna budge. So to create like a firmer second layer of, you know, girth material around the wire, I just twist around it some stripes of this material, this much, and do a very long stripe. Take some hot glue. I'm gonna start in an angle, and now I just twist around a little bit like this. I'm just going to mark the height of where those legs should go. So here and here. For the length, I'm thinking we have to account for the thickness of the animal. So 10 centimeters, more or less. Let me cook. I think I need a little bit more. You can call me paranoid, but I've had worse things happen to me. I twist the wire in the same way I did with the other one, and then I loop around the body one time so the legs won't be sliding up and down. You have this kind of thing. And here I am covering them a little bit more than I did with the body, because this is the only bulk that it's going to be separating the wire from the hair. I'm not going to use any cotton in the legs. So I've got my weed-legged worm, but before we can actually put it inside its flesh glob, I want to put the hair in the legs. As you can see, I do know patterning. The technique here is just put the legs on top of the fur, mark the section where they meet, and then cut it and glue it down. Make sure that it's better to overlap the fur than to leave a gap, because you can see that gap later. I went ahead and brushed the legs just so I could minimize how much you can see that seam, and I thought to trim the legs now, just because in the joint of the body with the legs it gets a little tricky sometimes, so I wanted to try and do it now to see if it gets any easier. The worm is done and it's ready to be inserted in the sock. So I inserted the wire worm into the first sock. I tried to be careful and not push the legs in the holes too far out, because that would give the poor brush bag human proportions and very, very long legs. It's my first time trying gluing from the inside, and even though I had to retouch some stuff from outside, it is less messy, so I would recommend you do it from the inside. And now we have to fill this bad boy. And for that, I'm gonna use the filling of an old pillow. As I stuff my brush bag with the polyfill, I stitch him up with a ladder stitch slowly when I believe one section has been properly filled. And then, to help hide the seams, I brushed it out and did the magic trick that is applying heat to the hair. With your hairdryer, just blast your whole brush bag out, and then I just brush him again while he cools down. And now that the hair is all fluffed up, I can trim him to my liking. Since he is a little fuller than I would have hoped for, I tried and trimmed down quite a bit on the main body of the brush bag, just to see if he could be slimmed down, at least visually. You need some kind of diet, brush buddy. I think you're too fat. So we've got Worm, but he doesn't have hands right now. And I like to make them with pipe cleaners. They are possible, so you can get them to hook into things. Because right now, yes, you could prop it on top of something, but he's not going to really grab onto anything because he's too thick right now. And yes, you can bend his legs and stuff, but that's still too little. So this is the perfect mix of bendable and still they look like fingers. I don't know how I could say any other way. So I was wondering if maybe if I double them down like I did with the armature wire and twisted it around for each finger. Yeah, I think that could totally work. And then I just have to insert 3 of these. Hold on. In each hand, like this. And then you'd have 3 fingers in every leg. I think I'm gonna do that. And that I did do. To glue the hands to the legs, what I do is I stuff that leg with hot glue and insert the fingers one by one and let it cool down and hope for the best. Something about those tiny hands just gives me such cuteness aggression. Now we are in the final stretch. I just need to put face on him. I have 2 sets of eyes. These are the ones that I usually use. Just because they are more in the realistic side, but I have to admit, they do make him look, oh my god, this is so silly. Like they are a bit small. If I had these, in a bigger diameter, they're snot out, I would use. This looks so creepy. No, ew. Oh my god. These are big googly eyes, which I tried to use once and I didn't really like how they came out, because as you can see, they don't move because they do have a hole in them back there, and the glue gets in, and I think they look just a tiny bit too silly. Like, it looks kind of good there, maybe. And because this one is so thick, I think I might go with this. I tried gluing around the hole that I previously mentioned in the eyes, but in the end, one of the eyes still got glued in one position, so he's a little strabic, okay? He's looking places. And for the final touch, my favorite part to bring some life into my creatures is to put some blush. You could do this with an airbrush, but I think it just looks more soft and subtle when I do it with eyeshadow. And with this, we're ready for the final reveal. Woo. Oh my god. Oh, this. Oh my god. Oh. Well. They lasted enough. Good job. I'm gonna leave these here. Whew, this reveal has taken so much time. Here he is, the boy. He's so cute, so cuddly. I'm so happy with him. He's chunky, okay? I know he's too chunky and I can almost not put him in my neck. Like, I cannot twist it around my neck. But that's fine. He looks cute, and if I can carry him like a baby. And that's nice. I never thought such a silly little guy could give me such cuteness, aggression. You can almost not see any seams, which the ones I did with hot glue could kind of tell where the seams were. But if you sew them, they are pretty much invisible, honestly, if you brush them enough. The joints are always kind of there with the limbs. Maybe if I actually sew them instead of gluing them to the legs. But then you lose all the mobility this can give you. And yes, it is chunky. And I should have known to make him thinner with this length. It's not that he's fat. Okay, don't say he's fat. He's on a diet right now. Right? Right? Wackus bonkus?
What do you think, Wackus Bonkus? Kill him. Who? You naughty Wackus Bonkus.
You can't say that. You cannot be mean back. You have to be nice and you have to forgive them. I'm losing my mind, guys. It's 7 p.m. and I haven't eaten anything yet. The problem with him is not that he's fat. The problem with him is that he's, for the proportions, either he should be thinner or longer. He lacks neck. It was very hard to pose him with his neck upright because he's so thick. Like, this is how he's supposed to look, and this is how he looks. But yeah. So yeah, this was making a brush buddy out of scraps, right? Thank you so much for watching. Remember that you can find me on other social media like Instagram @𝐑𝐄𝐒 and also on Twitter. I still refuse to call it X. I'm on Blue Sky as well. And I do have a Patreon where you can find tutorials and wigs, the longer versions of these YouTube videos with more insight and more voiceover with explanations of how I do things and how I don't do things and why. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was really fun for me. I'm so used to making so much for my YouTube videos. Last videos where I do 2 cosplays, I do 3 cosplays, I do multiple things. Doing a video just for one fella has been weird to me. I'm gonna try and do simpler projects for this channel just because that's healthier. I cannot be always doing a cosplay after a cosplay after a cosplay, because that's so vexing. My workshop, my atelier, is very much functional, and very honestly, it doesn't sparkle joy for me. So if I could make some stuff to hang here, there, and decorate it, that would be great. But that's a plan for the future. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you've arrived here, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am Tora, cosplayer and lover of anything fantasy and whimsy. I try to upload videos every 2 weeks, even though shit happens and I maybe will only be able to upload 1 video a month. But anyways, I will see you on my next video. Meow. Say bye. Can we? Okay, no. Bye bye. That looks good. Yes. Looks like a little monkey. Oh, I should have added an ass, if you know the X, the a-hole.